So, the most common question in response to my previous introductory video about the Godhead is, where did I come up with the names of God? And the answer is that I made them up, but they do refer to three different traditions, sort of in the spirit of the artwork. Each refers to kind of a different angle on God. So Haq comes from Islam. Is sort of, I guess you could say, a dogmatic religion, or one that already existed before the scientific revolution. Olalan comes from the work of William Blake. It's a character in one of his prophetic poems. And light is derived from the term that Spinoza uses for joy in Latin, laetitia. So to elaborate a little further, just like the loosest gloss on what Haq is in Islam, and it's not, it's a massive tradition, and I have no expertise. Like, I mostly know Islam through French secondary literature, really. But the basic idea is that Haq is this kind of like glowing ball of fire that is so unbearably powerful and vast beyond comprehension that it kind of calls for interpretation and representation of it, almost as protection from it or something. And it's sort of good and wondrous in almost this kind of scary way that isn't good at all. The awe-inspiring. And so I think the real is a really good translation. This little graphic has the truth. There's also like that which commands obedience. So that's the essence of Haq. The way that I elaborate exactly what Haq is unique. I mean, it's not that it's different from Islam, because it's not the same always in Islam either, but it's a reference to that tradition. Olalan, this is the final plate of William Blake's penultimate illuminated prophetic work called Milton. I won't really go into the plot, but the basic idea is that Olalan represents the sort of ultimate fulfillment of collective desire, with this sort of like social justice angle, as well as almost a more illicit, like too good to be true angle. Like it's sort of like it's like the sort of repressed dimension of society as we know it, that if we only had eyes to see, we could implement, but we don't, and so we don't yet. And then this is just a picture of Spinoza, and his concept of joy, which I derived the word light from, the Latin term that he uses, involves gaining, basically sort of learning, the experience of learning about a new capacity that you have in a way that gives you more power and makes it possible for you to sort of live more in harmony with the world, but like specifically like the experience of kind of grasping something new about the world or about yourself. And that's kind of like the essence of what light means for me. But again, it's not the same as Spinoza's joy, but Yeah, I really like having a religious kind of signpost and a artistic signpost and a philosophical signpost. Um, and like I would think it's kind of nice to, I don't know, like if you don't know what these things are, to like check them out too or something.